But this might seem a little overwhelming. How does somebody start? Like, what's the first couple of steps? Like, should we just be walking around trying to feel our pinky all the time? What's like a first step that somebody who's like open to this
Yeah,
should be doing?
that's a great question. So you are correct. It is actually quite overwhelming in the beginning. So that's why I've created a system, something super simple to remember. I've created a system where it's 7 primary body parts. But to not go too deep into 7, I'll give you just the first 3.
Okay.
So the first 3 body parts you want to start feeling are 3 H's: your heart, your hips, and your head.
I'm feeling the hips area.
Uh-huh. So
Okay.
I'll give you some tips on the heart and then the hips and then the head.
Let's spend a
So,
lot of time in the hips.
mhm.
That's what I
Good.
need help with. Okay, go ahead. We're
Good.
ready.
So the everybody spends different parts of their day in different parts of their body. And so some people are more hips, some people more head, some people, maybe more heart. But what we want is we want it all awake at the same time and moving in synchronicity together. So with the heart, what you can think of, number one is it's the rib cage. Most people don't think about their rib cage. People are told to like take a deep breath. What I say is go wide. If you go wide with your rib cage, your heart area, breathe wide, live wide, push on the inside with your mind wide. In the beginning, it's kind of hard, but it takes time. But the more you bring your mind there, where our attention goes, energy flows. So yeah, so we go wide. If you go wide, you'll get taller. All of my clients get taller, no matter what age they are. I have a client who's 63 who has gotten taller because she's been working with me for about 6.5 years.
Wow.
She's gotten taller and she's 63. I mean, it's amazing, unreal. So I've grown a half an inch. I was the same size, same height since 7th grade. And then I
Wow.
started practicing this and I grew a half an inch as I'm
Wow.
aging. Unreal.
Wow.
So, heart wide, heart wide, heart wide. Be big on the inside. And that awareness takes compression off the spine. So instead of trying to stand up straight, you're like pulling yourself kind of like a Chinese finger cuff.
I can see
Instead,
that.
yeah, instead go wide with the heart, side to side. We tend to lose lateral movement as we age. So the more you go side, wide and side to side, the more mobility you have. So that's the
Mm.
first piece with the heart. Heart wide, heart wide, heart wide. The other piece is the hips. So the way that I like to describe the hips, the second H, is make sure you can wag your tail. If your knees are bent and you can wag your tail like a happy little dog, you're pretty good. Now there's more details to it I could, go into if you were to, learn the whole system. But that's the general idea is when you can wag your tail, your pelvic floor is open, your mind thinks you're happy. You're just like an animal. Animals are joyful when their tail's up and they're scared when their tail's down. And with people sitting, for example, at computers all day long, their tail is tucked under. And there's no wonder they get like stressed and anxiety. Their body, their form dictates function. So the body needs to be open. And if you can wag your tail, you're pretty good. And then the last piece, so heart wide, hips wagging, and then head. The head tends in this modern day society tends to float forward on the neck. So you can see a lot of the young people right now with the cell phones and everything,
Mhm.
they're like crunched over with the head.
Yep.
So the way to get around that is one of the best tips with your head is let your eyes go out onto the horizon more often. Eyes on the horizon. That'll lift your head. It'll open even the heart area and it'll also give you that good feeling. You know that feeling when you look out of the ocean or the sunset or the mountains or a beautiful prairie? Like that's the feeling state that eyes on the horizon will give you.
Mm.
So heart wide, hips wagging, and head lifted.